Uh, Very good news about Optimus, I would say, with regard to that
Yes.
listing of plans and execution, which is not a lot different than we thought, except that it sounds as if the 1,000 per month line is ready to go and or maybe beginning to produce already. It kind of ties into where I wanted to go today, Larry, and that is in your and my, my wife likes to call it the back nine of life. We are living in a very, 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 very exciting period of time. And it seems to just get more exciting by the day. I was obviously, I'm sure you were too, impressed by what the president has been able to do the last 3 or 4 days in the Mid East. I reported this. Some folks are saying that if Iran is brought into the Mid East as a trading partner with the rest and kind of settles down and decides to join the world, that the Mid East will be a larger trading zone than Europe, making it the third largest trading zone after China, United States and China instead of Europe. Not, I said this morning, I wasn't necessarily happy about that. I'm not.
Yeah, I think the Middle East is hobbled by this fever dream of Islamic conquest.
Right.
And I find it hard to understand why in the first half of this new century they should be afflicted by this fever dream. I would have thought that we would have seen a sort of a modern emerge a modern version of Islam, but it's not.
Yeah.
And so I have far less optimism
Right.
on the subject
Yeah.
than you have read about.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm optimistic that for that part of the world to be successful in terms of financially and, entering into the world economy, the more that they do that maybe is more likely to produce peace, but long term, it may be a big negative. You and I may not be around to see that negative, but long term, it seems to me it's not a great thing. And it's sad that Europe is, in such a decline that they're giving up kind of their position as the third most important trading zone.
We'll see what happens. I don't know if you noticed today, the Conservative Party advertised that they are against illegal immigration in England. They want to deport 1 million illegal immigrants. That, you know, I mean, that's the Conservative Party, I should
Right,
say.
right.
And Labour appears to be following that route now. They all got trounced dramatically by this new party that never existed, 6 months ago, and
Right.
largely because of immigration. We see the German government changing dramatically their attitude towards immigrants. I have no doubt the rest of Europe will follow. I think this, when we talk about the fever dream, I mean, the fever dream has had different fevers in different
Yeah,
continents. And so
yeah,
we've had this fever dream of, you know, this Muslim extremism that reached its height in the times of ISIS. And what's interesting is this new leader of Syria, who was, Al Qaeda and then an ISIS figure, seems to have turned 180 degrees. Who knows?
all right, right.
He's talking about joining the Abraham Accords.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
But 20 years ago, 15 years ago, Saudi Arabia was an extreme country. All the 9/11 criminals came from Saudi, or most of them came from Saudi. So there is, there's the opportunity for change. There's the possibility of change. Who knows? I mean, maybe this dream breaks.
Right, right.
And is the Islamic world, which is, an ancient world and which has incredible history, will awake, and there will be, a reform or a renaissance. Who knows? I mean, it's possible. It could happen. I mean, if you walk in the streets of Malmo, or you walk in the streets of, even the biggest cities in Sweden, you couldn't imagine that these things, even London, you couldn't imagine that this dream will break and people will throw off their burqas and, become modern. As modern as they are inside their homes, they still keep this face.
Mhm.
And I know this is political, and a lot of people won't want me to be speaking this way, but it's time, it's time. And maybe this president will actually help us make that happen. But when you get to Iran, you're talking about a country that has immersed itself in the stream. At least its leaders have immersed
Right,
themselves in the
right.
stream.
Yes, not necessarily.
And the whole population is not living within the stream.
Right.
So you have this very, very artificial situation where you have this government and you have this clergy class running this government.
Mhm.
And then you have people living a completely different life privately, but publicly appearing to comply. And then you have this incredibly revolutionary group of militants that are aligned with this religious group. I don't see how they make this change. But, if you saw Saudi from 20 years ago and you see Saudi now, it's possible. It could happen.
And
It could happen.
so many possibilities.